A very good Thursday morning to everyone out there across the Wobbles community and beyond. Landon here in the driver's seat with you to bring you your latest weather and night forecast, courtesy of On Target. Speaking of On Target, folks, might want to go ahead and save that number with the wild weather roller coaster on the way, in case you got any emergencies that are going to appear. We got a few clouds skirting across the region this morning. We got this area of high pressure that's scooting off to the east. We're opening up the door to this little clipper system to meander on down to the south and east here as we work throughout the day on into the overnight. It's going to be bringing that associated cold front through here as well, and as that thing rotates through, we might get in on a few scattered snow showers, light rain showers here as we work throughout the overnight and into the early morning hours of our Friday. Okay, now as everybody knows, we've got a lot more to talk about. We'll be getting more into that here in just a moment with the high confidence of a potential impactful winter storm impacting the region late this weekend. Let's jump across the region, shall we? White Squirrel Weather NASCAM showing clear skies for the most part, overlooking bustling Bowling Green early this morning. Not too much to talk about. Same over the Beech Tree News Sky Cam up in Morgantown as well. We got the stars there that we're looking at. With the clear skies that have taken over throughout the overnight, folks, it is absolutely frigid cold. Temperatures have tanked all the way down between the low and mid 20s across the entire region. Any luck, we're going to be taking highs right up to around the low to mid 40s as we work into this afternoon. And folks, over the course of the next 2 weeks, this is going to be warm, believe it or not. We've got a reinforcing jolt of colder air that's going to be screaming in here like a banshee behind that clipper system throughout the overnight. And then after this weekend systems, folks, we're going to pull the rug out from our temperatures because we have got a concerning pattern coming along with the frigid cold after the potential for that impactful weather maker arriving as we work throughout the weekend. Here's a better look at the surface map. You can see where the area of high pressure is just south of the region, but look off to our west out across the Great Plains. Got that deepening surface low that's going to pull down to the south and east, and as it does so, we might get in on a few snow showers, maybe light rain showers as we work throughout the overnight hours. So first and foremost, we're going to look at the short-term model guidance, and we're going to give you the breakdown. All eyes remain off to our north and west where the clipper system is going to be arriving. It looks like more impacts will be located across the Louisville metro, points down to the south and east across eastern and Kentucky. So those of you located in and around the Ohio River in the Louisville metro, cuts down to the south and east through Lexington metro, even down towards the E-Town in some instances. You can see here as we get into the pre-dawn hours of our Friday morning, folks, that cold front's going to be blasting through here, bringing a few light rain or snow showers. We might catch a stray dusting on the roofs out there, maybe on the mailboxes, etc. But we're not expecting much in terms of impacts here across the Wobbles region. Now, after that passes, folks, as previously mentioned, we get a reinforcing jolt of colder air, and that is what is going to make this weekend system so complicated for us to forecast. Here we are working throughout this morning. We get into this afternoon. We're going to warm up quickly, anywhere between the low and mid 40s this afternoon. But folks, watch tonight. Here comes the clipper system initially moving through right around the 4 to 5 a.m. Time frame here on Friday morning. But the colder air that this thing is going to bring in is going to be the real weather story. We're going to be looking at Friday afternoon, hanging out between around the low to mid 30s across the entire region. And then, folks, northeasterly flow brings in even colder air as we work throughout our Friday night with lows tanking down to the low and mid 20s. And folks, look at this. By the time we roll into lunchtime on Saturday, we're going to be looking at highs potentially not escaping above the freezing mark of 32 degrees. This will have implications on the exact track and setup that our next significant weather maker is going to take. All right, so let's jump right into it. As the clipper system moves out of here, we got the reinforcing northwesterly flow that's going to bring in that colder air. All right, and then everyone is watching how this surface low pressure is going to behave. We still don't have this nailed down, folks. This weather maker is still over the Pacific Ocean, all right? It's not going to be until we get into tomorrow morning. As you can see here on the model front, we'll back this up here yet again, that this thing is finally going to arrive right around the upper Cascades here in Washington. And it's going to cause a drastic difference in our forecasting capabilities because of our sampling with all of our weather instrumentation out there, being able to take all the readings and include that in what the model guidance and the model solutions are putting out for us, okay? So even by Friday morning, this thing is still going to be way far away from our region, and the question mark will be the exact evolution of this thing. Here we are looking at the global models, folks. This is the Euro in particular. The GFS has come into agreement with this as well. But this low pressure system, everyone's pegging it right here around southeastern Colorado and the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas by Saturday evening. And then we progress eastward as we work into our Sunday. And folks, this is where things are going to get extraordinarily complicated. Just letting you all know ahead of time, there is high confidence that this is going to bring significant impacts to portions of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The exact corridor where that's going to be located has yet to be nailed down. But folks, as previously mentioned, prepare ahead of time in case of any power outages. If we get an ice storm that comes out of this, which unfortunately, I'll just be direct and honest with you all, some of the models are showcasing. And you can see here during the early morning hours of our Sunday, the Euro is pegging us with a freezing rain event here at onslaught of this weather maker. And then we progress throughout the day. We have what's called a warm nose that punches up here out of the deep south, changes us over to plain Jane rain for a brief stint. And then we go back to a freezing rain Sunday evening before switching over, as you can see here, to all snow as we roll into the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning. Long story short, this thing is looking like an absolute mess for us here across the region. I want to get a little bit closer up view because I want to showcase how little alterations in the exact track of this surface low pressure system is going to make all the difference in the world for us, all right? So take a look. Here we are looking at early Sunday morning where we were just looking at with the initial arrival of freezing rain, okay? Look at how far north the surface low is. It's all the way up here riding right along the Kentucky and Tennessee border. It still keeps us underneath freezing rain, sleet, and ice through mid-morning on Sunday, and then switches over to a brief stint of moderate to heavy rainfall by Sunday afternoon around lunch, and then rolling into the peak heating of the afternoon hours, all right? Right now, models are showcasing us hitting up right around the mid-30s by Sunday afternoon, bringing a brief reprieve and plain Jane rain to our vicinity before a hard changeover as we work into the overnight back to freezing rain on Sunday evening. And then, folks, as we get into midnight, rolling through the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning, a bout of light or even moderate snow to be doused on top of that, all right? Not currently liking the shape and the look of what the model guidance is currently showcasing. With the overrunning event, folks, of the precipitation overrunning shallow layers of Arctic air, that equates to freezing rain and ice. And yeah, I simply don't like what I'm seeing at the moment. Hopefully we get some alterations and changes whenever this weather maker finally makes it over the U.S. mainland. This is a probability of snowfall of at or exceeding 1 inch of total snowfall, okay, over the course of a 24-hour period. Here we are working into 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, then we hit lunchtime, then we work into the evening, and then we progress into the midnight to 6 a.m. hour on Monday morning. You can see where the concern lies. You can look and say, well, Landon, we've got, look at this, a 20 to 40% probability of getting an inch of snowfall here on the ground. But folks, what this thing isn't showing you is what other forms of precipitation might be falling before, during, and after this event, and that includes the freezing rain and the ice that could come along with that. Obviously, right now, with the current track of that low pressure system, if you're wanting more significant snow, we need that surface low to track further to the south, all right? Right now, personally, for me, I'll take either or. Bring the low further south and bring us a load of snow, or punch that low up along the Ohio River and bring us nothing but rain and a few storms, because what it's currently showing I don't like, and this, folks, is what I really don't like. All right? This is showing a 24-hour period of receiving at least a tenth of an inch of freezing rain. Same time frame. Here we are rolling into 6 a.m. Sunday, lunchtime on Sunday, 6 p.m. on Sunday, midnight on Monday, and then we get into 6 a.m. Monday. Folks, they currently have a corridor of 70 to 90% of our area and region seeing at least a tenth of an inch, if not more, of freezing rain, okay? So for comparison's sake, folks, whenever we talk about the opportunity of freezing rain, that results in not just accumulation on the ground, but ice accretion on tree limbs and power lines. That's where the ice becomes thicker. And folks, although it doesn't look like much, that ice becomes extraordinarily heavy for power lines and trees. That's why there's a concern. And whenever we get around a quarter of an inch of ice, that's whenever we start experiencing these issues with down trees, falling on the power lines and things of that nature. You all can kind of see why I'm simply not a fan of what the current model solution is showcasing. Because if this thing unfolds with what it's showing right now, we have got the opportunity right along the Western Kentucky, Bowling Green Parkways, Cumberland Parkways. We could be looking at a corridor of very, very heavy freezing rain and ice. And I don't want any of that, all right? We got awful memories. If anybody remembers back in 2009, I'm not making any comparisons, by the way. I'm just mentioning ice is pretty much the worst form of winter weather that we can get in here. And unfortunately, the model guidance is really pointing towards that as we speak. So hopefully we see some alterations and changes as we wear on, all right? One more thing I wanted to mention, folks. After we get this weather maker out of here, we have got a monster shot of cold air that's going to get us locked in here. We're talking about rolling into Wednesday and Thursday, highs potentially not getting out of the teens, overnight lows down into the single digits. Folks, if you throw a big ice storm on top of that and then we get that cold, we're going to be talking about some very serious issues across the region. Again, save that number right there with our friends at On Target. What does On Target do? They take care of anything and everything. They've got an emergency number on there. If you got any water main breaks, you get a water heater that goes out. You've got flooding that's ongoing. There's any trees or power lines, God forbid, that fall down on a structure on your home, that's the number that you want right there. Those guys are absolute all-stars here in and around the Wobbles community, all right? The cold gets locked in, folks, and we're going to be keeping our eyes as we work late into the week because we got some more winter weather makers that's going to be driving down out of this northwest flow, rolling over the course of a week and a half from now. So we're going to have to keep close eyes on the weather front, folks, as we got numerous chances, as you can see here, even rolling into the following week, rolling into January 13th, 14th, and 15th, another potential significant winter weather maker. So all you winter weather fans out there, we've got the cold locked in here. Keep your fingers crossed. We can get that track further south and we can eradicate the ice and bring more snow into the forecast for us. Here's a look at the latest from our local National Weather Service office. As you can see, precipitation could start off as snow, change over to freezing rain, sleet, snow, and rain. It's a mixed bag. It's an absolute mess right now, with models still working on coming on an exact solution. So we're going to keep updating you as necessary very frequently here over the next 72 to 90 hour period. Here's a full breakdown of your next 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Ohio Valley Insurance. Partly sunny today. It's not going to be too shabby, folks. Get out there and enjoy it. Highs right around the low and mid 40s. Friday, it's going to be colder behind the passing of that Clipper system. Many of us won't be escaping the 30s. We might get a little roof duster, maybe a dusting on the mailboxes or on the cars overnight with that little Clipper. Saturday, not escaping the low to mid 30s for highs, and then Saturday night through Sunday, Sunday night and Monday morning, the opportunity at that wintry mess with several question marks still remaining. And then, folks, the bottom drops out. Tuesday afternoon, 30 degrees for a high. Overnight lows nearing the single digits. Folks, that'll wrap up your Thursday morning weather or not forecast presented by On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Stay weather aware with the cold and the numerous winter weather chances on the horizon.